Lifestyle, patty people, that's what we about. Killer poppin', we just bumpin'. Everybody jump around, it's going down. Guess we can't shut it down. Ladies wear my flowers out, we bring the group to the mall. Tell the DJ play my song. Five tennis, bring them battles, see them louder, freedom matters, can't let loose. I see them holler, street propose, living hoes. Everybody in the floor getting wild, cause tonight we gonna rock hard, get it right. And right in the fast lane, that's what we about. Listen to my section right now. We gon' have a hell of a night. We gon' have a hell of a night. Yeah, gotta make us feel the life of the party. We just came to have fun. We ain't tryna hurt nobody. We gon' have a hell of a night. Yeah, we gon' have a hell of a night. Yeah. So we came to party hard, on the way to party right. Poppin' bottles there, we getting drunk, doing this shit at night. Hangover's gonna be a killer, but tonight he's gonna be working. So let's go insane, party like it ends today. What's up for you though? You might find when you drunk hitting Club 9. What's that? You got a friend? She a freak like you, it's cool, she can come too. It's a party filled with nerve, so you know, let's the curve. But it's how we came to rock. You get it right, yeah. Fast lane, that's what we about. Listen to my section right now. We gon' have a hell of a night. We gon' have a hell of a night. Yeah, gotta make us feel the life of the party. We just came to have fun. We ain't tryna hurt nobody. We gon' have a hell of a night. We gon' have a hell of a night. Everybody put your hands up, hands up, hands up, hands up. One time, one time. Everybody put your hands up, hands up, hands up, hands up. One time, one time. Life in the fast lane, that's what we about. Listen to my section right now. One time, one time. Hell of a night. Everybody put your hands up, hands up. Hell of a night. One time, one time. Gotta make us feel the life of the party. Everybody put your hands up, hands up. We ain't tryna hurt nobody. One time, one time. Hell of a night. Everybody put your hands up, hell of a night.
Couple nights, performed by Mimo out of Norcross, Georgia. And it is Bling Bling in 2015. You are listening to Your Prosperity Insights with Joe Midas Mind Miller. The Midas Mind and I, we want to wholeheartedly welcome Janet Zaretsky, the CSC, or Chief Success Coach of the Zenith Business, to the Bank Vault. Welcome to Your Prosperity Insights, Janet. It is a really great pleasure having you on the show.
Thank you. Pleasure's mine as well.
All right. Well, Janet is one of the most powerful and empowering business success coaches in North America. Janet's unique and distinctive style of coaching truly has individuals and organizations exceed all expectations. It's time for this week's Prosperity Insight. Midas Mind, it's all yours.
Thank you, Quiet Storm. This week's theme is privilege. When you see your work as a burden, you are not going to do it very well, and you'll make yourself miserable in the bargain. When you can instead see your work as a privilege, you completely change things for the better. When you see your work as a privilege, business and your satisfaction skyrockets. You experience a dramatic improvement in your creativity and your level of commitment. Just because there are burdensome elements to your work, it's just no reason to see your work itself as a burden. Most likely, you can find a way to eliminate or make improvements to those troubling components. It's important to make that distinction between what you're seeking to accomplish and tasks and procedures you must undertake to get there. It enables you to be fully committed. and to be completely enthusiastic about your goal while being flexible about the way you achieve it. The opportunity to make a difference is indeed a privilege. Although the path may at times be frustrating and uncomfortable, the destination remains highly desirable. If there's something about your work that continues to trouble you, find a way to fix it. Get to the point where you can see your work as a privilege and raise yourself to a whole new level of achievement. What I've learned about myself from the same privilege is that I definitely have things that I don't like doing, but I know I have to get to an end goal. And so I have to break the things that I don't like, and I admit to myself I don't like them, into small little packages, and reward myself for hopping over each little stone to finally arrive on the giant boulder. And it's a privilege to do that. Janet, we love having you here, and I can't wait to hear what you have and your thoughts about this. So give us the impact of operating from a context of privilege and how it can affect the bottom revenue lines in any business.
Well, first of all, thank you. I love this topic. It's one of my favorite topics. So just if you look at the definition of privilege, this is one of the definitions. Privilege is a right, immunity, or benefit enjoyed only by a person beyond the advantages of most. So if you look at that from the opportunity it is to be in business, work in a business, or, have a job, it is a privilege enjoyed by you beyond the advantages of most. Not everyone in the world has the privilege to work, let alone participate in their own business. So first, if you get that, it's a privilege to get to work or have a business. Then you get whatever you're doing is a contribution. If you're selling a product, that product contributes to people's quality of life in some way. If you're selling a service, that service contributes to people's quality of life. And you're sharing this planet with a lot of other people. And there are a lot of other people selling a lot of products and providing a lot of service. So when someone buys from you and does business with you, you want to get the real acknowledgement of the opportunity of you contributing. It really is a privilege. So while there are tasks to do in your job, and some of them are tasks that you particularly like even, living in my house, I have to do laundry. I don't like doing laundry, but I like wearing clean clothes, so I do laundry. And in my business, I don't like doing accounting. But it's just part of the game. See, the job is the end game, the real privilege of serving people. And when you see it that way, the tasks or the things, as you said, the burdensome elements to your work, no longer exist for you as boulders and something to get over, but actually as stepping stones to get to the opportunity of the privilege of contributing. And then the other thing is, I find that when people get who they are in business and they're confident in what they're contributing and the privilege it is to provide whatever it is they're providing, their income skyrockets. See, it stops being about watching the scoreboard, or in this instance, about watching your bank account, because nobody ever won anything from watching your bank account. Money doesn't magically appear there.
That's right.
It's more, so it's got to be about playing the game. In this instance, working. Love playing the game. The score, or in this instance, your income takes care of itself.
I love that. That is just beautiful. Thank you. Because in fact, we do have to focus to get anything done, and you can't do that watching the scoreboard. Let's see what the listeners are talking about in the Conscious Cashback Reward segment. Quiet Storm.
Thank you. Well, we do love all your comments. They make up our conscious cashback reward from you, our listeners. And tonight's conscious cashback reward is from Laura Fitzgerald of San Juan, Puerto Rico, who writes, Quiet Storm, one of my passion goals is to lose weight, and I'm really inspired by the Midas Mind for having the same commitment. I took your coaching, and I actually paid the money for a weight loss coach, and I signed up for a membership at the Y. Your tips for choosing a coach simplified the process, so I didn't have to overanalyze like I would normally do, which is I get a symptom of fear. Loved your coaching. Miss Storm, my husband is getting as wide as our couch. Any coaching on how I can get him motivated? Well, Laura, I want to thank you for contributing to this week's Conscious Cashback Reward. We so appreciate your sharing with us. Well, Laura, my coaching for you is really simple. Keep your word and following your program. Yes, take the coaching from your coach and put it into action as fast as you can. Don't hesitate. Don't procrastinate. Beware of the pitfall that looks like you're getting yourself together, and now you want to help everyone get themselves together. That is definitely a setup to take you off the track from getting your act together and blaming time wasted on others. If you want him to get motivated and drop those pounds, get your sexy figure back. And as Midas Mind would say, stay on the path. Janet, my dear, do you have any coaching for Miss Laura?
Yes. Well, first of all, everything that Quiet Storm said, brilliant coaching. So I want to just add a note. Laura, you cannot make anyone do anything. And the moment your husband chooses his health, he'll work on his weight. And then, obviously, I can't ask you specifically, Laura, but I know you're listening. I'd ask you this question. Why are you working on losing weight? What I find is most people know they need to lose weight for a long period of time, some of us for years and years. And something happens that motivates them, and in this case you, something motivated you to actually get moving. Was it from wanting to look a certain way, like get your sexy figure back? Or was it something called I want to be healthy? Whatever it was, the more you share your motivation and your struggle and your triumphs with your husband, the more he may think about what you said, and it may motivate him. But even if it doesn't, the sharing of it for you will help you stay on track. And the only other thing I would give you, beyond the brilliant coaching of Quiet Storm, is this. When you fail to keep your promises to yourself in your dieting or in your exercising, if you fall off the wagon, as most of us do, forgive yourself. Have some compassion for your fallibility and get right back on the path. You can do this. We look forward to hearing about the weight loss you had and the massive success.
All right. Well, Midas Mind, just have to let that soak in there. Midas Mind, what did you find empowering from Laura's Conscious Cashback Reward this week?
Quiet Storm, Laura is just inspirational to me. I am using Laura for inspiration because this was the first year I didn't even celebrate Christmas. I wanted to make sure I got it right this Christmas. I found myself walking into my bedroom at night, and my wife would be so cute. She'd say, "Come on in here, big sexy." And that was cute at first, but then I realized she was saying big sexy, so I wasn't taking it the same anymore. And I needed to get back to myself. So I've done a lot of salads and I've done a lot of juicing. But last weekend, just like Janet just mentioned, I fell off the wagon. And it was by my wife's request. She wanted a roast. I made it. I smoke cooked it. I put a little smoke in it. It was crazy. It was falling apart. And pretty much she requested it and I ate it. Well, I am getting back on my bike. And I'm going to ride that bike, and I'm going to use Laura and Janet and Sharon, my wife. The more she calls me Big Sexy, she doesn't know it, but in my mind, I'm thinking, yeah, you keep saying big for a reason. So let's just get back on that bike, Laura, whenever you have a problem. And remember, don't show anybody your before and after pictures until you have the after done. So let's do it. Quiet Storm.
All right. Well, please join us over in the bank room for a performance from Nellie Tiger Travis. Please stay tuned.
They say, stop creditors from harassing you. Consolidate your credit card debt into a loan. They say, stop those annoying calls. Simply file bankruptcy. They don't say, consolidating credit card debt into a loan keeps you paying on that debt for years and more years with interest. They don't say, file for bankruptcy and say no to a car loan, no to a mortgage for up to 11 years. Don't file bankruptcy and ruin your credit for years. Don't get a consolidation loan and pay years and years. Get your credit card debt destroyed. Call Sharon, the debt destroyer. Sharon and her team of experts work hard to help you eliminate your credit card debt and get you and your credit back on track. No bankruptcy, no loans, your credit card debt eliminated. Have your credit card debt destroyed. Contact Sharon, the debt destroyer, at yourdebtdestroyed.com or call 888-431-2829, extension 2.
Welcome back. You are listening to Your Prosperity Insights, where we focus on the practical, pragmatic, spiritual, and conscious aspects of growing prosperity. And we do it all with power and love.
Well, we are finally here. We are over here, right here in the bank room, where we feature a track from a new artist and, of course, vote to see if they're going to get a couple of snaps or kicked out of the vault altogether. And as promised, tonight we have Nellie Tiger Travis out of Chicago, Illinois, with her album, Mr. Sexy Man. I can't wait to hear this. Yes, Mr. Sexy Man. Let's hit it.
I saw you when you stepped into the club. The way you walk, the way your body moves. I was out there dancing on up on me. Got my hormones jumping. I feel your energy. I like your freaky dancing. You really going down. You make me feel so good, babe. Let me turn around. Mr. Sexy Man. What your name is? What your name is? Mr. Sexy Man. What your name is? What your name is? Mr. Sexy Man. What your name is? What your name is? Mr. Sexy Man. What your name is? What your name is?
Well, that was Mr. Sexy. Well, let's see if Midas Mind and Janet are denying the tracks and snaps or calling security. Let's see. I don't want to have our guests be on the hot seat, so we're going to go to you, Midas Mind, first. What did you think of Mr. Sexy Man?
You know, Quiet Storm, it sounded like Millie Jackson featuring Roger from Zap, didn't it?
Exactly.
It was like 1982 all over again. Give me some snaps because I'm that old.
That's exactly spot on. But I don't know how good it was. So what are you saying here?
You know what? Anybody that takes me back 20 years like that, I'm going to give them snaps.
Okay, all right. I am surprised, but I get it. And we're going straight to our guest, Janet. Janet, what did you think of Mr. Sexy Man?
Well, I agree. I felt like I was back on the beach in the 1980s. And so I like it. I like taking this back. That was a great time of life. So I'm giving it a snap.
All right. Another surprise. Well, we've got two snaps, and I am going to give Nellie, I'm going to make a quick call to security. That was just a bit much for me. You know,
no!
With a little voice box there, never should have been attempted, but I digress. Nellie, going to have to call security, honey. Well, we have a few questions moving slightly over on for our guest tonight, Janet Zaretsky. And I see that, well, it looks like Midas Mind is flashing a couple of hundreds. So we will let him go first.
My turn first. My turn. Janet, please tell us about the Zenith Business and what makes your coaching so powerful and so successful for your clients. We've already had a little bit of taste of it, but explain.
Well, one of the things that I'm really, the Zenith Business is all about you, whoever you are that is working with me, reaching the zenith, the top, the ultimate of your success. And I love having people be successful. I think what makes my coaching powerful and successful for my clients is, and I even say this on my website, I am not fluffy. I'm very practical. I'm very intentional. I tell it like it is. No nonsense. Do this. And I think that would be the key. I was talking to a client today who, in 6 weeks of working with me, has 3.5 times her income. So
Wow.
made 3.5 times her income. Yep. And it's just blowing it up. And I think part of it is I really am committed that people are so much bigger and so much more extraordinary than they allow themselves to be. And with me working with them, they start owning their power, they start expressing their power, and they take action consistent with that power.
So are you telling me, Janet, that this is more than you just pumping up their confidence level? Or is their confidence level being moved by the incremental steps you have them take?
Both. It's both. So it isn't pumping up. It is, in one way, it is rooted in they've got to increase their confidence, but it isn't like pumping up, you know what I mean? Like, it's not false. It's actually allowing them.
It's a tangible change that you have them going through.
Yes, and then they're taking action steps. So it's all about action. One thing, they get lots of assignments in between times when we talk, and they have a lot of action, a lot of business action. They have to produce results. They have to be in communication if they're not. And that's kind of the secret to it. It's all about business success and doing what it takes to be successful and getting the barriers to your own success out of your way.
Great.
Wow. Well, Janet, can you share 2 pitfalls that you've seen people fall into when it comes to getting the most for the coaching that they're paying for?
Yeah, absolutely. I think probably the number one pitfall, so if you pay a coach, that's first, you're hiring somebody to support you. In one way, what I'm about to say as a pitfall is kind of crazy, but this is a pitfall, which is not being in communication if you're failing. If you didn't do what you said you'd do, or you didn't produce the results you said you would do, not calling your coach, not texting, email, communicating. People go out of communication when they fail out of shame or whatever that is. And so in one way, that's kind of crazy. You paid this person to support you, but you do that. But that's one huge pitfall I've seen. And then the second pitfall is not, I'm going to say it like this, not taking the coaching. So when you're on a conversation, when you're dealing with a coaching session with your coach, whether it's in person or on the phone, and you make an agreement, okay, the coaching is due X, and you say, okay, I'll do that, but you have no intention of doing it, and you didn't tell your coach, that is a pitfall too, because you're not going to take the coaching, so you're not going to get the benefit. It's not a problem if you say, no, I'm not doing that. That may lead to a whole other conversation that gets the barrier out of the way. But it's basically a failure to communicate fully. Those are the 2 biggest pitfalls I've seen.
Wow. Janet, one of my passion projects for this year is to lose weight and get back in shape. And as you can hear, I just fell off the bike and I'm just getting back on. Is there any coaching you can give me so that I can kind of stay on track?
Yeah, there's a couple things. Well, one is, which I pretty much said before, but I would do a couple things. Have compassion for yourself. It's not an easy thing. And what you're really doing is changing habits. A lot of people, when you're overweight, and I've dealt with this myself, have habits of thinking and acting that have caused you to have the weight go on. So, there's all kinds of studies that say it takes 21 days, but it does take repetition for you to develop new habits. Diet is crazy. You should never diet except for a short term to get yourself started. You're actually creating new habits and a whole new lifestyle. So have compassion for yourself as you go through this and think of it as like, wow, I discovered Swiss chard. I discovered a new food that is a healthy food that can become a new habit instead of, like for me, one of the things I discovered was kale chips with garlic salt on them are delicious instead of popcorn. So just replacing them and creating new habits. And congratulations on taking that step, and congratulations on your weight loss over the holidays.
Well, thank you.
Oh, one other thing. Every time, you said something earlier in the show about not showing your before and after pictures, but you want to celebrate your milestones. Even if you lose a pound every week, celebrate that, acknowledge that for yourself and out loud to others. Because acknowledgement and appreciation of yourself will keep you encouraged.
You know what, I received that. It's the only reason I don't want to show my before and after until I get an after is because, like probably some of our listeners out here, I've done this for a while before and then failed and ate up the whole refrigerator. And so this time, it's a little bit different because we have an audience. And so I know there's somebody out there that is going to look eventually to see, where is that before and after? And I'm going to produce it this year. Y'all ain't going to laugh at me, I tell you that. But it is still a struggle because, believe me, I went through the Christmas holidays. I said, I cast every demon out of my house in Jesus' name. I don't want that food, But truthfully, I did want it. So it is learning a new process. Quiet Storm?
Wow, a lot of gems of clarity being dropped in this episode. And Janet, how can our listeners learn more about the Zenith Business and your upcoming projects?
I think the easiest thing, thanks for asking, the easiest thing is go to my website, which is www.thezenithbusiness, TheZenith business.com. And I have a couple things on there that you could sign up. If you sign up and subscribe, I have a free sales close video and download, and then you'll get messages from me. I also have available a free business success strategy session, which you can sign up. I'll be having, and if you're signed up on any of those, I'm going to be having some one-day upcoming workshops. At this point, they're scheduled in March and April in Austin, in Asheville, North Carolina, and in New Jersey. But I'll be having them elsewhere, and that's probably the easiest way for people to get in touch with me. And I'm also have a Facebook page. So thanks for asking. I look forward to hearing from listeners.
And you definitely will. And, well, it is time. It is time for this week's exercise for building a prosperity consciousness. Midas Mind, over to you.
This week's exercise for building and maintaining your financial well-being is privilege. This week, we're asking you to create a list of tasks or challenges that in 2014 you looked at as a burden or a chore, and you will now choose to operate from the context of privilege. Once you've completed the list, ask an honored friend or relative to review the list and add anything that you may have overlooked. Repeat this process daily for 7 days, a full week. Share this exercise with others and ask them to take on the assignment. Remember, people don't plan to fail. They fail to plan. I hope you've enjoyed this week's Prosperity Insights and use the exercise to stay on the path as you build and maintain your financial well-being. Thanks for listening.
And we want to thank you, Janet, for being on our show. And please don't forget to check her out on thezenithbusiness.com. As you know, I am Quiet Storm, and you've been listening to Prosperity Insights with Joe Midas Mind Miller. And you can visit us on the web at yourprosperityinsights.com.